Being dead for 9 whole months can seriously take a toll on you. In fact, I wasn't sure I was coming back at all, so you may be wondering why I'm even here in the first place. It's a pretty long story, but in a nutshell, I still like Team Fortress 2. I've missed a lot, I know, and I might not be back forever, but I've come back fresh and I'm here to make the most of it. So let's jump into this TF2 rabbit hole one more time and see where it takes us. I wish you all had any idea how many times I've tried to quit this game. First, I didn't play for a few weeks, and then I came back. Then it was 3 months, and I came back. Then it was 7 months, and I still came back. Then, up until a week ago, I hadn't played TF2 for 9 long months. I thought for sure I was done with it for good. Yeah, you could probably tell exactly how well that worked out. So here I am, playing TF2 again after 9 months of other games. And so, there was a question I had to ask. Hey TF2 Twitter, how would you describe TF2 in 2020? Bleak, a one-way train to hell, bittersweet, so many hackers, a blood-soaked, beaten, and bruised horse. Holy shit, how's this thing still going? Underrated, a lot like it has been. Valve drop-kicked their baby off a cliff. A broken marriage out of 10, like melted ice cream. Sad, neglected husk of a game. Thermonuclear explosion. Re-Q Fortress 2. So it looks like the big glaring issue in most people's minds is how Valve has put TF2 on the bottom of the priority list. If you can't tell from the bots, the game doesn't get the attention it needs, which is severely disappointing, sure, but isn't that how it's been for the past 10 years? I mean, sure, the anti-cheat seems to be on vacation lately, but it barely did its job in the first place. In fact, the only thing it seems to have really changed is now people have stopped hoping for something new to happen and have just given up. And now, because of it, the community seems to be tearing itself to shreds. Well, at least more than usual. And it also doesn't help that a recent bunch of content creators have committed the horrible crime of not wanting to play TF2. And there being less content to watch really scares people. And who could blame them? For a lot of players, content creators leaving is a sign that TF2 is becoming less cool than it was. But first of all, we were never cool for liking Team Fortress 2. Let me just be clear about that. And secondly, content creators leaving the game is healthy, and it's nothing but good for them. And anyone who would rather someone be making content for their game instead of that same creator being happy is kind of an inconsiderate asshole. But it makes people ask the question, is Team Fortress 2 dead or dying? And the answer to that question is that whole argument's stupid and people only make it to make themselves feel better and it's just a complete waste of time. And it's a waste of time because as long as there's 2 people playing the game is not dead. And if decreasing popularity somehow equates to a game is dying, then the same can be said for almost all other non-mainstream multiplayer games out there. It's just a factor of their existence. The question that we should be asking each other is, do people still want to make Team Fortress 2 better? And the answer to that question is yes. People definitely still want to make Team Fortress 2 better and are making a hell of an effort trying to do it. So TF2 might be on hold for the foreseeable future, but at the same time, it has changed nothing. So if you're looking for the light at the end of the tunnel for Team Fortress 2 that doesn't also happen to be a train, there is hope. Because this community is easily one of the most hardcore, dedicated followings out there, and there are plenty of people who have taken it upon themselves to make the game better, and that's where there's hope. As an example that I feel could use a plug, Creators.tf hosts hacker-free, random crit-free, populated servers all over the world, and is easily the best way to play TF2 in the year 2020. They've got custom map rotations, their own contractor campaigns, and custom cosmetics for use on their servers, so if you're ever having a hard time with casual, Creators.tf has your back. And it's these kind of projects that really define the heart of TF2 players. We look to each other for hope, and it's only through all of us trying to make what we love a little bit better that it's ever going to get better. I, for one, don't want to let some bad news and a bunch of robots get in my way of enjoying what I like, and it's obvious the rest of the community feels that way too. But let's wrap for a second. If you're having a hard time with the game right now, or it just doesn't feel the same as it did back in the day, and you're at a loss for what else to do, it's okay to take a break from Team Fortress 2. You can leave for a while and come back. That's perfectly fine. And who knows, you might like it better if you do. All I really know is that continuing to play it probably isn't going to help you rediscover it. Part of what makes TF2 so withstanding is how the foundations are still there. And it doesn't matter how far we feel like we've moved from them. I mean, compare what TF2 used to be like with the jetpacks, candy canes, and bananas we've got now, and anyone would think it's a whole different game. Until they played it and realized that they get that same satisfaction in doing everything they used to. Mowing people down as a heavy is still an ego trip, and setting up a juicy sticky trap is still satisfying. It's all the same feeling, and all the things you love about TF2 are still there and will always still be there. A timeless masterpiece, I think it's called. Wink. And I still love TF2, regardless of whatever state it's in. And maybe we're all crazy. I mean, I was just standing on top of a hill in full cosplay not 20 minutes ago. Maybe we're just crazy for liking this game. I don't know for sure. There's no other game like it, and every once in a while, I'm in the mood to hear that Metaguns hum again. I keep coming back to it, and like I said, I'm starting to think I'll never be rid of it. I've played it for the past 9 years, and after almost 5,000 hours, it's pretty much a part of me forever. I've given up. The good news is that with so little being changed in the game, I can still feel that reflexive game sense kicking back in, and it makes me feel like an old pro rocket jumping through upward again. But the fact that so little has changed does give TF2 a little hardship. It's enough to say that for a lot of people, there's only so many headshots and backstabs that can distract you from the feeling that TF2 doesn't offer as much to explore as it used to, especially with the dry spell of new content that looks like it may never end. I just want you to know that not playing TF2 doesn't mean you don't still love it and doesn't mean you aren't still a fan. If the game isn't fun for you anymore, then I really encourage you to move on. Go on to bigger and better things. Your life is way too short to start mismanaging your time like this. Spend it doing the things you are passionate or curious about, and understand that your passions and curiosity can and will change. Each time I disappear for a few months at a time, it's because I've found something new in my life that I'd like to try, and it usually means there's less room in my life for Team Fortress 2. But wouldn't you know it, coming back after a break has renewed my love for this game, and I've enjoyed it now more than ever. And we all need to remember that we can't be a part of it forever, and it can't forever be a part of us. Our time is fleeting, to say the least, so it's important to do what you want. If it means playing more, then more power to you, and if it means something else, go for it. And remember, the doors are always open if you ever feel like coming back and playing another round with us, just for old time's sake. Because no matter what happens, and no matter what Valve says, no matter what the robots do, and no matter what anybody else tells you, Team Fortress 2 is still awesome. So thank you all so much for watching. I know it's weird seeing me in cosplay and more importantly on the screen, but I'm kind of done hiding behind gameplay footage. If you want to support me, subscribe to my Patreon or go to my Twitter and follow me. For my patrons, I would like to personally thank Netherlinks and Sean No Soup, who have been my 2 remaining patrons throughout all of these 9 months of nothing, which I appreciate, so thank you. And I also appreciate the patience for everybody else who's been waiting here. If you'd also like to support my wife, Wave Robin, who is a fantastic artist, I would like you to go to her Twitter as well, and her commissions are open, and she does fantastic work for fantastic rates. She is incredible on so many levels, and I love her just so dearly. All right, so please go pay her some attention on her Twitter. Her work is fantastic. So thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys next time.